Here we go. The very first Orange Tree podcast with our guest Danny Buezo. Thank you, bro, for coming through.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, bro?
It's going good. It's going really well. I mean, what's today? Tuesday, December 8th. You know what I mean? Nearing the end of the year to a year that's been full of unpredictable things. And I think, you know what I mean, I'm excited that through it all, we've been able to keep our inner peace and love and joy, and you know, even a moment like right now, what you know, what I mean, this I feel like is a combination of this year, you know, having to dig in deep and get creative.
Facts.
Yeah, bro, that's facts. I mean, it's definitely been a unusual year for I think a lot of people, or just a different year. But I think there's a lot of beauty in it too, you know, because I feel like it brought out a lot of good things from people.
For real.
You know, just like gratefulness, you know, I think is a lot of it too. And just even like how Kobe passed away at the jump of the year just made I think everybody around the world just a little bit more like just a little bit more appreciative of their each day they have in time. Sure. You know, just seeing a legend go down like that.
Yeah, nothing's promised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we think we're in control, and we're not. But I think we learn what we are in control of, and that's the way we respond. Mm-hmm. And, you know, our attitude, our, you know, perspective, and all those things are the things that we could control. Everything else, you know, we're not in control, you know what I mean? But I think that's something that was important to me this year. It was just like, yo, focus on what you can control your controllables, you know, how you show up every single day. 'Cause it's, you know, if you look at it in different ways, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in this world every single day, and it could be very overwhelming, and it could be, you know, I think for us, or for me, you know, as a leader, you know, or as a teacher, but also a student, I can never feel hopeless, because I know that I bring a lot of you know, joy and a lot of love to my peoples, my family, my friends, and I can never show up like feeling hopeless. Mm-hmm. So I've been focusing on how I show up every single day and making sure I show up full of love and joy. And even if, let's just say today's my last day on this earth, I want to leave with that same joy and love and abundance. And I don't mean finance by that either. I just mean just the abundance of self that I bring to everyone every day.
Bro,
facts. Because living in the moment, man, you know.
Yeah.
If we were to pass, the last memory being joyful, one, or at least on the, you know,
there you go. A fat spider just jumped on Willa's thigh.
That's a spider?
Yeah.
You see that right there? Yeah, I see it. Welcome to Orange Tree Podcast Production.
Orange Tree Podcast 1.
That might be a horse spider or something.
Yeah, that shit is a tarantula. Right? Don't trip. No one is scared of the spider. The spider just can't just be chilling on niggas, so don't get it twisted. Niggas is not scared of animals or spiders.
Yeah, we just secured the spider and we put him to the side. We didn't squash him. I actually love catching spiders, bro. Like,
he really do though.
Yeah, like at honestly, the house, whenever we see a spider rolling around, like I'll normally pick it up,
spider hunter,
and then it'll start spinning its web, and then I'll be able to like hold it like a yo-yo in a way. And then, yeah, it's just hella times. It just happens like
Remember the crocodile hunter? That's how that nigga be with spiders.
Dude, what the heck? Yeah, but absolutely. As far as what you were saying, too, Danny, about? Like, when you were younger, did you notice, like, yourself wanting to lead, too? Like, when you were, like, because I feel like, as you were saying, like people do look at you, people look at your spirit, people feel your energy, and you have to, as you're saying, you arrive ready.
Yeah, I think like not necessarily like I don't think I ever looked at myself as a leader when I was young. I just knew that I embraced my differences, and you know what I mean, like I didn't, you know, obviously as a kid you're always inspired or influenced by someone, but I was also like I was influenced a lot by myself too, you know, like I was kind of comfortable in my own skin. I was comfortable being different. I think that's why I love style and clothes so much, because I was able to express myself in a unique way through clothes, and that kind of gave me the confidence to continue to be different, because I was comfortable in my own skin, and you know, I had, you know, sometimes, you know, your friends are, you know, just being funny, like we'll joke on it, but I was still okay with it. And then, you know, for the most part, it was accepted. Like it was like, you know, Danny be fucking with that fashion shit, he be fucking with the clothes. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember I used to come to the block in like shoes, and they used to make fun of me like, damn, yeah, we could hear you from a block away, you sound like a horse coming down the street. Cause my shoes were hard bottoms. But I think, you know what I mean, looking back, I just knew that I was okay with being different. And then I think a leader for me is like someone who is for the people. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I've always been someone who loves people, want to help people, support people, you know, be a servant in a way. And I feel like that is what put me in a position where now I see how I am a leader in my own way, and I feel like we all are in our individual way. But I think for me it was bigger than me since forever. You know, I always wanted to be there for my peoples, and it started with, you know, being in the hood and being there for the homies, but now it's like I just want to be there for my people. If, you know, I want to serve, that's something that I, you know, pray about, you know, being at service. And, you know, I think that's probably one of the greatest things we can do in life is help people.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Amen. Yeah, that's true, bro. Yeah, I mean, well, you guys, you and the team, you know, KOI, and just the whole, like, above ground team, you know, have just doing really inspiring things, you know, and I think you guys have been doing that, helping others. So yeah. I feel like you guys are totally at the right direction, you know, and you guys' journey is just, as I'm saying, like, just inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, like, even people that your friends, your close friends, and even people who you may have never met, you know, I think you have touched, and the whole team too. So that's definitely a blessing that I'm thankful for, to just witness, you know. So yeah, bro, super dope.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think, like, so what do you, because we've been talking about self-love and acknowledging the self, and, you know, walking in our truth and things of that nature. I think like where's your mind been in these times that I guess you're in a place where, I mean, if you subscribe to that, you know, like, what have you been going through that has you more in a place of, you know, accepting yourself as opposed to projecting so much?
I feel like the awareness of self has just helped me a lot, because I think I still have some tough days, and, you know, moments where I'm emotionally drained or physically drained or mentally drained. I mean, sometimes it's all three at once, but I'm able to be aware of my feelings and thoughts, and of, like, you know, hey, you're just having a day where you're feeling sad or mad, and acknowledging those feelings, but not looking at them for my absolute truth. I think it's something that I'm feeling at the moment. I embrace it and then do my best to let it go. I think one of the things that I like to share with people, that are going through things, is like we all going through it. It's not easy for me. You know what I mean? I think it doesn't get easier. I truly believe that I am getting better every day, and I'm learning to love myself more every single day. I feel like I think I think for me, I've learned that I'm not my brain. My brain is a tool. It's something. It works.
It's an instrument.
It's an instrument. It's like a computer, and it works through how it's programmed, and it works through pattern. And the brain may take you down a rabbit hole. And those moments, I gotta like step out and understand that my brain's working in that pattern, and it may be reacting to old trauma. It may be some places I need to heal, especially when the fucked up shit happens.
Right.
It's just like, why am I so triggered right now? And I learned, like, hey, maybe there's some old shit that I need to figure out, because I shouldn't be this upset, or I shouldn't be this sad.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the journey of self-awareness. And then something I've been doing lately is just hugging myself, like, in meditation, and like loving myself, like, yo, I love you, D, and like talk great about myself. It's like, if I don't think that, if I don't feel that, like, why would anybody else think that of me? I think having that support system too, I think between, some days Weller shows up and shows me the brighter side of the day, or sometimes it's David, sometimes it's, other special people in my life that can pick up a mirror and remind me who I am.
Yeah, bro. I feel like, just even from you hearing you say that, we have this thing where we're talking about teach the kids knowledge of self-love. And I think a lot of that is just like one of the tools of that understanding right now, I feel like, would be the understanding of course correction, meaning like we're all like, once we set forward that we're going in a direction, or what direction we're going in, it's not about like failing or something going wrong and like you stopping. It's more so about understanding that things are going to go wrong and just course correcting, whether it's like how he's saying, me coming in, or David, or whoever, or he himself having to hug himself in meditation.
Yeah,
it's like how do we install these instruments of course correction into these people, because it is kids too, but just people overall,
Mm-hmm.
especially in these times.
yeah,
That's fire.
that's dope, man.
Yeah, I think, being able to, I think it's like programming your mind to that there's a solution to everything. There's something to learn from everything. Because it's easy to be happy when everything's going your way.
Yeah,
To keep that same joy, when things go unplanned, or,
Mm-hmm.
when you have to pivot, or when you have to grow and change from something, and, it's not, a lot of times those things aren't comfortable, and
Yeah,
but keeping that same joy through those moments, I feel like is really important.
and I think this kind of falls within the lines of the video that we did with you about healing.
Yeah.
And that was like I feel like a beautiful process, and I got to know you a little bit more through that healing side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as far as like just your approach on that.
Yeah.
You said you do meditating in the mornings usually. Nice. And do you use the app, like a
it's been changing
Gotcha.
a lot. I don't use an app, but I it's beautiful to see for myself, because those are moments just with me, just how much my meditation routine changes. And
yeah
I feel like we're it's a rejuvenating rebirth, refreshment, reminder every morning, you know. So it changes. Like at times I listen to agape, at other times I listen to like sound bowl meditation, other times, you know, sometimes I'm short in time, so I kind of just gotta like go into affirmation prayer,
Mm-hmm.
and then at least try to do 30 seconds of
Yeah.
it. But it changes, and I feel like I love it because it shows it's this personal evolution that I see in myself that
Yeah.
nobody gets
It's okay.
nobody gets to see, and but it's real, and you know, it's just those things that you just trip yourself out about by yourself, because you're like, man, like I'm really like changing and growing and unfolding. Nobody gets to see that part, but I think that.
But-
No, go ahead.
How would you define it? Like if you had to define it, just because, you know, I think growing up for us and understanding you more, a lot of where we come from, that idea of meditation isn't something that, you know, that word is so abstract at times, you know. So I feel like, I mean, I know what you mean, like just from being your brother, but I mean, if you could just explain a little bit deeper in terms of like when you say meditation and those different whether it's affirmations, whether it's, you know, agape, so on and so forth, like what is it, how would you define it, just so people, when you say that word, it resonates with people a little bit more?
For me, it's taking time to yourself. There's nothing, I don't think it's about seeking anything. It's about stepping into your truth, stillness, silence, you know, shutting off the mind and connecting with spirit, connecting with your inner self. I feel like it's God time, and however you want to define what God is to you, that's on you. But it's just a moment where I step into my actual truth, not into what my mind thinks, not into what anyone else thinks, not into what society thinks, or, you know, whoever, you know what I mean? Like, it's a moment where I put my mind to the side and my emotions to the side. All those things not being my true self. My true self is what I feel who we all truly are is infinite divine spirit of God, like a reflection and expression of this almighty source.
Yeah.
So I just step into it because it's something that there's something that we don't need to like find or try to go seek. It's just about taking the time and dedication and discipline to tap into it every single day. And I think I've got better with it, but every day is a new day. Every day is a new feeling. You know what I mean? We're forever progressing.
Mm-hmm.
That's our true nature. You know, we're a part of this universe, and the universe is not the same as it was 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, true. I feel that. When did you start practicing meditation? And just like that knowledge of being present.
I've always prayed my whole life. Grew up in Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel when I moved to San Francisco and I left it all behind and just not necessarily risked it all, but yeah, in a way, like I didn't know what I was coming to California like exactly for. You know, I just had graduated college. You know,
Where'd you go to college?
Norfolk State in Virginia.
Okay.
So I graduated social work degree. I didn't want to go into the field. I moved to San Francisco and just like said, God help me, like guide me. And that's when I was going deep into prayer. I used to listen to a lot of Joyce Meyer.
Nice.
She like was super helpful in those days, and I still listen to her here and there. And then I think maybe like 4 years ago, I started getting into it, and it was tough. It's just, you know, I understand when people say, it's, you know, they don't know how to meditate or they don't know how to still the mind.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I think we think 90,000 thoughts a day.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how many thoughts we've thought all our lives. Imagine to try to get that to stop just for a second.
Yeah.
You know, our mind is still racing as we sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So, I think the main thing with meditation that has helped me is not to judge myself for thinking or for going into any little rabbit hole or feeling anything or having random thoughts. It's like the moment you judge yourself is the moment you stop meditating. That's the way I think about it.
Yeah.
Because there's no judgment in meditation.
Yeah.
So it's just awareness. Oh, my mind is thinking about this 12 o'clock meeting while I'm in full meditation. Okay, like come back to the center. But then like over 2 years ago, like when I started going to Agape, which kind of just Agape Spiritual Center, like really has gave me a lot of knowledge into my path already.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just a spiritual center. It wasn't based on religion. It wasn't about, you know, praying to a certain God or anything like that. It was just spirituality, and it kind of affirmed a lot of the things that I felt were the truth already. So it wasn't anything that I felt persuaded by or convinced by. And then I started learning more about meditation through Agape about 2 years ago. And then at that time, it was the first time in my life I had anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew what anxiety was. And I just remember like those anxious thoughts being able to go away when I meditated. And that's when I felt like, oh shit, like there's something here. Because if your life is going pretty normal or, you know, not too chaotic, and you meditate, you're like, oh, I don't know if this worked or not. But then if you fucked up and you meditate and you feel that this has helped your day tremendously already, then I started taking it more serious. I was like, wow, like this shit actually has helped me. Then I saw how it helped me throughout the year. Then I saw how it helped me last year. And then this year was just like, man,
game changer.
it was just games. Because now I'm just, Wella and I have been talking about this a little, you know, it's like, first is like, I believed, or I believe that this can help.
Yeah.
And then it happens. So then you're like, wow, like I want to continue to believe. But now I'm in a time where it's not necessarily that I don't believe, but I don't even believe is not my word anymore. It's just more like I am. Exactly. I am it. I am this. Like,
nice.
Because I feel like believe is almost like a step back.
Yeah.
To where I'm at right now. And you
It's a thought.
you gotta start with believing. But then when you just are it, like when you are the reflection and expression of God, like, you know, we don't need to believe in the sun for the sun to come out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The sun's gonna come out regardless if we believe it's the sun or not.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we're part of that same nature.
Yeah.
So I this year was a year where I step into from belief into like I am, and that's my meditation kind of like feeling, and that's what I step into. I step into who I truly am.
Yeah. I'm interested in Agape. So what is the difference, or like what things do they focus on? You know, like
I'm not like, I don't want to like preach any religion or anything like that, but you know, I'm gonna just tell you what I know, or at least how it's just
for the listeners, for perhaps sure, if they're listening, they don't know.
Agape is just it's about the source. I think, you know, it's not about God being this man with a beard looking at us. You know, that's how I was raised. I think one of the best things that helped me with was like it took away a lot of guilt and shame. I think one of the things with religion, especially Christianity, the way I was raised, it made me feel guilty about a lot of things and shameful, like, oh, I could do better, like, you know, the Bible says this, the Bible, and I still love the Bible too, but it was just a spiritual connection. It kind of like, it's not about what he said or she said, it's about you tapping in with God.
Yeah.
Let's like, I think there's a lot of great teachings in all the books, whether the Buddha, the Quran, and a lot of the same ones, and all that is great, but it's about the connection between you and God, and then using everything else as tools to have a deeper connection with God. But I think one of the things that got me at first was like when Michael Beckwith, which is the reverend and the founder of it, was just like, you know, even the term God is we use it as a convenience to communicate what God truly is, but there's no way we can ever really truly explain what God is besides God is everything, you know?
Yeah.
So, and you know, it
You can only explain it by being it.
right. And I again, like the no separation between us and God. I feel like I've created a lot of separation. Like God is here when I'm doing good. So I gotta try to do good. But if I'm fucking up, then God kind of like, you know what I mean? It's gonna punish me, and I don't, you know, the only thing that's punishing me is myself. So
Okay.
if my awareness is like, oh, like God is gonna punish me.
Yeah.
If I have God within me, which I do, I'm myself punishing myself. So it's almost like God is love.
Yeah.
God is, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm explaining it all the way, but I more than anything is just like, it was just about yourself and God, and you know, it's not about trying to find God. It's God is already here. And God it's not this man, and it's not this woman. It's just everything, you know.
Absolutely.
It's the energy.
Yeah, I feel like it's just good to find what that is for you, like what helps you the most in life, whatever that may be, you know, whether it's a belief out in the East or if it's a belief out, you know, like somewhere else, like whatever helps your spirit be more alive
For sure.
and just more present, I think is a healthy choice.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want to like preach agape, because I respect and love everyone, you know. I think the moment we use any type of union to divide people, like whether it's, because I don't want to be like, oh, I go to agape so I don't fuck with, you know, any other religion. Like that's not me. You know, and I'm not saying like agape is the truth and the only truth. What I'm saying that I love about it is we all have the truth within us.
Yeah, for real.
And whether you go, even if you're atheist, you know what I mean? Like you still have the truth is right within you. You know what I mean? Your mind may play tricks on you and tell you you're this and you're that, but your soul and your spirit is always intact. It's untouched.
Bro,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Respect and appreciate the energy, man. That's it, you know. It's just that.
What you were saying earlier, from college afterwards, you moved to San Francisco, and how'd that whole thing go for you? I mean, like, just as far as people, because I think a lot of people could relate or been in those shoes, as far as going to school in one place and taking a leap to go somewhere else to try the waters. How was that for you, the whole process? What was something that you kind of like?
It becomes like, I think one of the things I always think of is like, for some reason I always did my best to stay optimistic about situations. It was really like a bad thing turning good. I was supposed to move with the girl I was dating to Chicago, and it was like a bad breakup. And I remember I had a ticket to go see her, and I just called David Ali, and I was like, yo, I'm about to switch my ticket to the Bay. He's like, come on, like, come out here. And I went out there, and when I got to San Francisco, I just felt it in my gut. I was like, yo, I'm gonna move here. And you know, I had David, I known him since I was 12. He was like, yo, bro, say no more. I moved to San Francisco a few months later. And I think one thing I love about just being from the hood and growing up the way I did, I'm a hustler. That's in my blood. I can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that was like something that made me somewhat unafraid to move. I was like, bro, I'm gonna figure it out regardless.
Real quick, for any new listeners who perhaps don't know where you're from, where are you from?
Originally from Brooklyn, New York, but moved to Jersey when I was 12, then moved back to Brooklyn when I was 18. So I rep New York, New Jersey.
Nice.
And so just being from that, and like I knew I was gonna be okay. I could always figure it out.
Yep.
And I think that's just like one of the good things that I feel like you get from growing up in a way that, you know, you gotta figure things out, and you gotta hustle, and you gotta make ends meet type shit. So I moved there, and I met Wella, you know, my first month out there, and that was like, you know, that was like a really strong connection that made me feel like I'm in the right path. I'm like meeting someone that talks your language and that inspires you, and that inspires you in so many different ways, like creatively, artistically, but also just like as a person. Like, I want to be a better person now. So, you know, you meet those people in your life that make you feel like, I don't know where this is going, but something's going right. Like, I'm meeting people. People are coming into my life that it somewhat makes sense. So, and then I think that's when a lot of the faith goes into place. You know? Yeah.
Just the coming up with you has been interesting in terms of understanding how to be in a relationship with someone that is not from so like growing up, I wouldn't say my father taught me how to treat women, or my brother, or it was mostly my friends, right? Or TV. So like meeting someone like you was more so understanding that like I had somebody who had the levels of which I'd already had connections with people, but also had in the barrier of an understanding to become vulnerable, so I didn't really have to hide anything about myself, which then transitions over to, you know, to other stuff. So I always find that interesting.
Do you guys remember when you guys first met?
Yeah.
And like what you guys talked about, you know, where was that, you know, like that time?
Yeah, I mean, we met like previous years before we actually met through the phone. David just like he predicted our friendship and our partnership a long time ago.
Facts.
Fire. And it was like I was living in New York, and he was like, bro, you gotta meet Wella. And I was like, bro, like you guys are on the other coast, you know, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. So when I finally moved to San Francisco, I remember, I don't know if I told you this, but I had a meeting with some other kid.
No, you did. Tell him though.
And I told David to come with me.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, this kid is starting this fashion brand. He want me to help him. And I told David, yo, come with me. We had coffee, and then David, right after the meeting, David was like, yo, nah, that's not him. You got to meet Wella. If you want to do this fashion shit, meet Wella.
Yes,
I met Wella, and from day one, we just connected. Much more than fashion. It was family. It was love. You know, I asked him to sleep over. Like, it was like two best friends since day one, and like kids. Like, we went into like he said, like being vulnerable, and we
pure. That's a word. That's a good word.
Pure.
Yeah.
I didn't have to think about being, you know, like as a kid, you just pure.
I didn't want to impress him, or he didn't want to impress me. We was just like happy to meet people that just on your same wave and
trying to be better.
And
we do fucked up shit here and there growing up. We testing. Yeah. But the fact that you're testing, the fact that you're testing is like, I think that's what connects me with people. Again, it's like a lot of people want to judge people's direction and how they get there, but they're stagnant while judging. Whereas like the goal is to teach people how to just go and then course correct.
Yeah.
It's just like, I felt like that's what I saw in him, was just like the idea of just course correcting and still being a good person.
Yeah.
Coming from an intent of being good as opposed to being from an intent of like financial gain or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because you could see it in people.
And
Especially growing up like how we grew up,
Yeah.
you hear in the way people talk, and with him it never felt like a perspective of like my goal in life of when I say I want to be successful is to be rich. I think the goal in life is to maybe it is to be rich, but it's to be rich in relationship, rich in wealth and value and self and understanding. Like anywhere I go, I'm good.
Yeah.
All my powers, all my tools, everything I need
Yeah.
are on me at all times because God has gifted me with them.
Yeah. For
So
real.
that's what I saw. That's what I feel like he sees in
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah. And the course correct is like to try your idea, to do
Facts.
it, and then adjust after samples.
But don't be afraid of messing up, you know?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
be a kid, like in that sense. Like that's what I mean pure too. It's like the fact that he's coming to San Francisco is pure, and the act in itself is pure because you don't know why you're coming here.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
course correcting. You just said you was finna go somewhere. You like, I can't go to there more.
Yeah.
I gotta go here. Like I think that in itself is life. That is God. That's all those things, because it's just it's a moment. Like we're saying, we're all just a moment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you really believe in that moment and you put your all into it, and I was listening to Michael Jackson earlier, and you share it, you know, I feel like then you can't be any closer to God or to that energy or to that to this thing we call life that is not promised. you
Yeah.
know?
Man, well, how about the Kids of Immigrants, as far as like when you guys first launched and everything? Like I'm sure you guys told the story like of quite a few times, but you don't gotta tell like or explain like the day of, but like from the day it started to now, what's one thing that you could say that you're just like word from it?
I feel like this is like a great
My bad, real
Right.
quick, like how many years are you guys in now too?
Yeah, so I think going back to like when we first met,
Mm-hmm.
like it was always bigger than just creating a brand. And you know, I think when I look back, you know, we known each other for 7+ years. Year one, you know, I remember within the first day, like, well, it was like, bro, let's change the name of the brand, let's do something together. And that's when I knew, again, like pure is a great word. Like I knew that he's, you know, for somebody to meet you in one day and just literally say, I have a brand, but I'm down to change the name because I want to do this shit with you. Like that, you know, I took that with great honor and responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was because we connect. It's not, I remember like we'll have conversations about fashion and then just go back to real life, you know, about, you know, how I feel as a person, how I feel as a, you know, at the time a 20-year-old, and where I want to be in life. And we always talk about, you know, watching our children, you know what I mean, grow. You know what I mean, him having a family, you know, myself having a family. I feel like I just love that this company and this movement that we created has helped me grow as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's priceless.
Yeah.
You know, that's better than anything that else outside of, between that and actually inspiring people to be better and to do better and to inspire people that there's hope and there's, you know, all those kind of things that the brand inspires and representation.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best thing outside of that is just like how much we've grown as people, like, and that's just something that we keep talking to the youth about and to people about, like, because I think you're saying like people have asked, I'm sure people have asked y'all this question already, like how did KOI start?
Mm-hmm.
And I think before we would give you like the correct answer. You know, me and him started with the brand and we started being creative and et cetera, et cetera. But when I look at this journey, I'm like, bro, we started talking about this shit 7 years ago. 4 years ago, we actually put it in paper and did the Instagram and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know, a year later after, You know, the first year with the brand, we like, yo, we actually got something. Then year 2, you know, we had a lot of challenges of learning how to like be bosses of our own shit. You know, it was like nobody's gonna tell me I'm late or hey, you're gonna get in trouble if you don't do this. Nah, we had to like hold ourselves accountable, and that was a whole nother step of learning. And then like learning how to maintain that purity that he's talking about right now, because then you get so you create a system and you almost become a slave to your own system.
Facts.
And then like, you know, getting out of there and being like, yo man, fuck all this shit, like I don't care, like fuck this financial shit, all this other shit. Like trust me, like we learned a lot, and we're getting all the right people to handle all those things. But I want to remain pure, and I want to remain like those conversations that we had 7 years ago about life and love and family and you know getting married, or just having a woman in your life
having
that
kids,
that has your backbone, and doing something for our parents, and doing something to inspire the youth, and to be on, and to, you know, at times feel like we got off track, and then to come back to that same intention and purpose, and our purpose growing or evolving. Like that shit to me, fuck all the logistical shit, like, or all the like ups and downs. Like I'm just happy, like, all, because trust me, we got stories for days on how tough it was on, you know, trying to pay rent, or just having a you know, I slept on a couch for 6 years. My first 6 years in California, I didn't have a bed, you know, or, you know, him sleeping in a garage in the valley or wherever he was living at the moment, to get in his first apartment, you know, and but then still struggling after that. You know, we went through it all creatively, logistically, and all that shit. But I think at the end of it all, I'm just so happy and grateful and joyful that I learned so much about myself, that we have a support system between one another where, bro, Weldon doesn't have to say a word, and I can already sense how he feels. Like, and I think mostly because I know his intentions and I know his heart. So regardless of whether he makes a mistake or he could have done something better, or I could have done something better, he knows my heart. I know his heart, and like that shit's priceless.
It's like missing a free throw. Like, will you be mad at a nigga who gets on the line and like there's, you know, the clock is at 0, they're down 1, there's a technical, and he's done everything in his power. He's fucking practiced, woke up early every day, showed up, been an amazing teammate every fucking day, but misses that free throw and you all lose the game. Do you scold him?
You pick him up.
No, you don't. You feel me? So I feel like with that approach, that's how I like looking at it. And that's just pure. You feel me? Like, that's understanding that there's going to be more games. So why cut your head off for one game when we're trying to win multiple championships? And not to make it a competitive thing, but I just mean in terms of the obstacles that are coming our way. We're only competing with ourselves. Yeah, we've said that's from day one. There's no competition with anyone. Exactly. Everyone could come on for the ride with us, but I just think the obstacles is what we compete with to make sure that we could just overcome them.
Being better than yesterday.
Facts.
Yeah. And we're filming and recording right out of our backyard in Echo Park. So that's the chopper sound that you guys just heard. Yeah. We out here with the vibes.
This is real.
It's energy though.
It's real. I think that, I mean, that's just who we are. That's who you are, Dom. And, you know, if it's perfect, it ain't real. If it's real, it ain't perfect. And you know what I mean? So this is perfect.
And when we look and think about it, when we look at things in time, do you want the production? Do you want the perspective of what you think people in that time wanted people to see as like what was going on in history? Or do you really want to understand what was going on? That's the closest, you know? Quit trying to produce reality. You know, reality is good as it is.
For sure.
Love that.
So, question about how, if you can, because like I'm really curious, like how that small business Saturday like plan went out, like as far as like the details of it, because like you guys created all these super fire shirts. I'm even wearing one right now. But yeah, like how did that play out?
I mean, that's just like, oh
Shit, another one down. Our umbrella fell. We're gonna pick that up right now. Hold on one sec. Here, let's put it forward so like without the tilt. Yeah, without the tilt, so it don't fuck up. Whenever you find that you're home, we'll just put this weight. There we go. Damn. All right, cool.
I love this. I love
Yeah.
that people get to see everything.
Yeah,
yeah.
bro.
It's the beauty.
I think our umbrellas went down 3 times already. Three KOs.
It reminds me. I was just looking at some photos randomly of me and him on the ground, sewing and cutting stuff.
Uh,
And then I don't even remember where the place was deep, but it's just like, I think those are like, yeah, that's what connects us.
Yeah.
I just saw a video of me, like, I was trying to record myself when we used to rip the sweaters apart,
Mm-hmm.
and I made a hole, and I was just like, fuck.
oh shit.
And I was just like, man, that video was hard. I should have posted it, but back to the question, the small business question.
Yeah.
Man, those ideas are divine ideas. Like, we don't create those ideas. I like to say we obtain those ideas. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's things that's supposed to be happening in this world, and God or the universe is, you know what I mean, is trying to use us, and it's about us being available and being like, yeah, we'll do this. You know what I mean? I remember we were in New York, and we were in New Jersey actually. We had got the Airbnb,
Mm-hmm.
and like we felt like me and Weller were fine, but everybody else felt like
We were amazing. Fuck
Airbnb,
fine.
The
That was
Airbnb
amazing.
was in a vibe,
Well-
and I was just like, you know, Weller, like, we here. I'm grateful, and you know, we met with the team, and we kind of just try to think on how we can do something for Small Business Saturday, which we've done every single year since the launch of the brand. But year 4 being, you know, in the middle of a pandemic, we couldn't. We were trying to think how we're gonna do a real life experience,
Mhm.
or do something that we felt good about, with, you know, still taking all the precautions of the pandemic. And I just remember taking a call. I came back, and Weller, Christian, and Debbie were talking about just doing different experiences with different shops in the neighborhood. And
No, keep in mind though, before this, the day was about to go in a whole different direction.
a
A whole different direction.
Interesting.
And D like, nah, we just need to talk about it. Can we just talk about it right now?
Yeah.
He just did.
yeah, you know,
I just want people to know that,
Yeah.
just so people don't get this idea that like I think like people, because he has such a joyous spirit,
Mhm.
you know, and it comes with high energy.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people don't understand that we go through these peaks in the troughs or however, like the bottom
Word.
and the top.
Yeah.
And like with him, that's what I appreciate, is like people got to understand when we come into certain things, it's like that energy before we got into this high energy of like what people appreciate.
Yeah.
It was a very low energy that we had to figure out how to come out of,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, as a team.
Yeah. And it was looking like a tough day, because I think like I mentioned, like we felt like the vibe was off at the Airbnb. Again, me and Weller were just like on the same page with it. We were like, bro, we're traveling, you know what I mean, seeing our families through what we created as a company. So
Yeah.
it is, you know what I mean, we're always gonna stay in that deep gratitude.
But you want to know what though? That house, I told myself that like, you know, we always got to look at the brighter side. I told myself, look at this. Let's connect. I'm trying to connect with the unknown, right? So I said, yo, if it was an immigrant family, which that's the best way I can connect,
Yeah.
is like, of course there's going to be locked doors and there's going to be hidden places in it, you know? So let me connect with this, as opposed to think this is some ghost house and all this haunted, spooky shit, because it was a beautiful house. The whole family came over. We had
It
the
was
kids,
beautiful.
Awesome.
baby was there. Like, for me, it was just like, how can you not be in such an appreciation, you know, and it felt so warm to me, and I wasn't with my family, but that me being with him and his family is the closest I get to it. So I appreciate it with every ounce of my spirit. So when it's people, have another idea of how they want to experience these things we call moments, it's like y'all don't understand what the true value and richness of life is. To experience it with souls that appreciate you in the moment, and that's one thing he does with me and his family has done since day one is we appreciate each other's spirit in the moment to the maximum. All the time.
And that's the part where we just got to show up. We got to show up the way we want, the way. I think we can't. Those are moments where we can't take anything personal. I mean, the only thing I can control is how I show up, how I respond, and it went from having, like a kind of just weird morning to like us getting together and just like just going ham on the idea.
Nice.
And like we were so happy afterwards, and we were, we were just together, and that's just being honest, as a team. Like, this shit's not easy. There's a lot of different personalities. Sometimes you having a bad day, and sometimes I know myself enough to say sometimes I'm just impatient. I'm not having the I didn't wake up with the same joy, but it's a learning moment. It's an awareness moment, like, oh, okay, look how I'm reacting or responding to people because I didn't get enough sleep, or because I'm hungover, or because something happened in the morning, and how it's affecting my day. So as a team, we learning to understand each other more. The more people involved, the more personalities and things, the more compassion you gotta have. So we came up with the idea in New Jersey at that Airbnb that that me and Wella loved, and then I think after that was just about reaching out to people that we fuck with, small businesses. One thing that Wella and I do everywhere we go, or at least try, is say hi to everyone. Thanks. Especially small businesses, especially those people that we see working hard and remind us of our roots, remind us of our parents. Like when me and Wella, every food spot or business that we go to, like, they always receive us with a warm welcome, because we just the respect that we bring over there, the love that we come with. So it was easy to like reach out to the cleaners, reach out to Mr. Harrison, or Mr. Harrison, and the other small businesses, because that's just who we are. So when we told them about it, the 4 small businesses, I think they're not necessarily confused, but like we're like, okay, well, I mean, whatever, guys, like, y'all know we fuck with y'all and vice versa, and they're like, whatever y'all want to do is love. I remember the first time I told the cleaners, the guy was just like, Marlo, he was just like, I was like, I'm trying to get some press behind it and make it big. And he's like, look, I don't care about that. I'll do anything for you, and that's it. And it's not about promoting me or anything. If you want to do this, then I'll do it.
Fact.
And that's kind of like the relationships that we have with the small business.
That's a message.
How many
right there.
small businesses did you guys?
It was 4.
4? Nice. So it was Mr. Harrison's.
Right. Marlo's Cleaners, it was El Chilito, which is Debbie's Pops, and then it was El Juarique, which is a Peruvian food spot in Venice.
But I also want to just make sure that people understand what just happened right there was in terms of like something that we try to create is being the bridge of like generations, right? So the fact that we got there and it was more like, okay, financially this could assist you. What Danny's bringing, and he's being like, no, I'm doing it more so because I appreciate you, or I like you, or I respect you. That's why I think some of this generational stuff doesn't happen. I only say that to teach the kids knowledge of self-love, as like these little things I want to always tie back to that, because these are all lessons that we can give to people. And it's like we have to understand that bridge that can be created by both old, young, and us in between is that idea of appreciating people as they are and not what financially they can bring to you all the time, because it goes both ways too. You know, for the older people, they can get to that point of just you're a business transaction, but like when you win his, you know, appreciation, love, respect, so on and so forth, the idea of commerce doesn't even come into play when it comes into something that you're bringing with, you know, joy as an opportunity for him to show his business, which will bring hopefully more business, and then you helping, you know, like that's I just want people to know that that's what made it. That's what some people don't even know why it was so. What they were seeing and why it affected them is because they don't know how to. Sometimes I'll put myself in that. I don't know how to connect with older people, but I want to.
The small business Saturday though is probably one of my favorites, because like as far as what you're saying earlier, like saying hello, you know, and like, you know, getting to know them behind the store, you know, like, because they're just, I love meeting new people. Even before COVID happened, me and Wella would go to the Rose Bowl, Pasadena, all these little flea markets, and just going in there and like browsing and having conversations with all these like vendors. Even it was a lot of, for the most case, a lot of them are older heads. But like
let's say 50 and up.
So but they're all great like souls, man.
Absolutely.
This is so cool, and so I feel you.
So much we can learn from them, and vice versa. So I you know, to what Wella was saying, I think, and I'm gonna give some free game right now, but I think, you know, so many people reached out to me and to us, just as like, man, love what you guys did, and this, that, and the third, and like I think a lot of people and companies and brands and you know, maybe it's like more of an old school way of thinking, or something that's fading away. It's like, you know, they go into planning and strategy and marketing and branding with how to make money, and everything doesn't have to be about making money. And, you know, like what we did, you know, we're still relatively a small company.
Facts.
And we did it with our own money, and it didn't have to be the biggest thing in the world. It's just that our intention was there, and our, you know what I mean, and aligned with our purpose. And it wasn't about, you know what I mean, like not everything has to be transactional. You know, sometimes, you know, or sometimes make love the transaction. You know what I mean? So, you know, spoke to other people, some smaller companies, but also spoke to big corporations about Small Business Saturday. You know, in fact, one of the companies that was supposed to be part of it and sponsor it and help us fund this project this year pulled out last minute. So we had to do it with our own money, which is fine. But it was just like a moment, you know. Not every moment in business needs to be a big, you know what I mean, cash out moment. And I feel like that's something that we've done since day one. You know, we focus on our community. Whether it's like going to schools or volunteering here and there, whatever it is, like it's like, you know, those, I believe, you know, those moments are just as abundant as a collection that we drop and sells out. You know, and I think
they actually make those collections more purposeful.
Right. So
you guys funded the whole thing, and the money went to those small businesses. Dude, that's fire.
So
I don't think, I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody else is doing that.
From a business standpoint, it does it like it to people. It doesn't make sense. But again, we're not here to be.
Well, from a business point, like people will be like, "Oh, well, that's marketing dollars, et cetera, et cetera." But it's like we don't. The only reason I only use marketing, the word marketing, branding, and shit like that because it's technically the correct terms to some of the things that we do. But that's, for us, is like that's just that's what's in our heart to do. You know, exactly. I mean, somebody's gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, great marketing plan or great social impact." I mean, to me and to us, it's just like, this is just who we are. This is how we express ourselves. And to, you know, the people who's listening, I don't I don't want to inspire y'all to be like us. I want to inspire you to be like you.
Okay.
And like I'm seeing a lot of people and brands and companies shift into this like social conscious, social impact, social responsible world. And I just want to say like focus on what's true to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go if your heart is not with the homeless community or with whichever community,
Yeah.
don't try to act like you care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like we can't help everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but we can help someone.
Yeah.
And I think that's just important right now. Just something that I love that people are out here trying to help.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big shift
Mm-hmm.
in that going on right now. Whether it's like the consumer want to make sure that whoever they're spending their dollars with represents their morals and values,
Mm-hmm.
and also the way companies are starting to market and talk about themselves, you know, in a way that, hey, we are taking responsibility and doing what we can.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, do what's true to your heart. You know, like
Don't look at it as a marketing play.
yeah,
Yeah.
like when myself and Weller, like, you know, there's a lot of things going on, and we would love to try to help the whole world, but
Yeah.
it's like we got to take a step back and be like, yo, if we feel this in our hearts to
Mhm.
do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, you know, something that everybody's hopping on to help, and you know, we kind of just like, my heart and prayers always going out for the betterment of this world,
Mhm.
but I can't. But you know, I gotta stay true to what
Yeah.
I feel my purpose is,
Exactly.
and I don't. And
Which is controlling what you can control.
And the thing is, the whole thing is organic. You know, the whole thing is meaningful. So like with those two like components, that's just a perfect recipe. I mean, like it's an honest recipe too.
yeah.
You know, and as you were saying, you know, like you guys do it because that's who you guys are, identity wise. You know, like
Yeah.
not everybody's Danny Puezo, not everybody's Wella Dennis.
Right.
You know, so like, yeah, stick true to
I
who
remember,
you are.
my man Jeff Vaughn, who was like the, I think, president or CEO of Capitol Records. He was talking. He was like, man, I you know, I love that, you know, what you do. You're always for the community, and it inspires me to do more for people. And I just told him, like, I appreciate that, but just know, like, you're doing a lot for people too. You know,
Mhm.
he was an A&R. He signed a lot of people. He changed a lot of people's lives and their family lives.
Yeah.
You know, and not you know, I just thought about it now, but you know, how you help people and how you make this world a better place doesn't have to be, you know, working with a nonprofit or anything like that. It's just you showing up in the best version of yourself. If you can help someone do it, you know, that is activism. That is all that stuff. Like, sometimes I see people talking about activism and they're not even like nice people. Like, it's like, this
Mhm.
person's
Yeah,
kind of mean.
Yeah,
How are you talking about you care?
and they're not separate.
Yeah,
You
they're
know?
not separate.
They're not
Activism
separate.
is every day. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Like, it's life.
how
It's
you
your
treat people. And
perspective.
I'm not here to say I'm perfect, but I'm just here, like, I take that into consideration every day. Am I helping people? Was I nice to these people? And
Mhm.
how can I do better? I'm not judging anyone or anything. I'm just trying to bring awareness to some of these thoughts.
Exactly.
That's really dope. It's fire. Yeah, man. That definitely was I feel like something I just wanted to know more about that
Yeah.
release, man.
Thank
'Cause,
you.
um,
'Cause
'cause-
it was fun.
Because as much as, you know, like you guys showed it and shared it, the like what you guys were up to, but I feel like there was still something that I just, you know, like getting it from
Yeah.
words is a nice thing. At least from this podcast is what I mean.
Yeah. I think the day before we had a new intern, Sam, and you know, the day before Small Business Saturday, I
Mhm.
just told him, like, look, these are the moments where we did all the work, we prepared as much as we can, and we just let it go and let it happen on its own. You know, like,
It's game time.
Yeah, it's game time, it's God time, it's
Mhm.
God flow time. It's just, and the next day he came with me to all the businesses and he saw how impactful it was and how people received it. And you know, in my heart I already was feeling that way. So
Mhm.
when life starts reflecting what you feel inside, you know, those are the moments where I'm like, I am this. I don't have to believe that tomorrow is going to be great. It's already great. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
I'm
feel it.
already, it's already, it's my truth.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Exactly.
So
It
are
was
you
dope for him to experience too.
word?
The intern, cause I felt like he, you know, we have a collection dropping tomorrow, and the Hey Arnold stuff dropping next week, and I'm excited for him to just
Hey
experience,
Arnold,
you know, how
monumental.
we've been working and been excited about this, and then it happens, you know.
Yeah. What a rare drop, man, with Hey Arnold too, man. I don't know, have they ever collabed with, like, almost
They've collabed, but I think
It's just with us. It's different.
with us it's just you feel different about it, you know.
Yeah, 100%. No, I feel that.
Because
We're a clothing line, but we're not a clothing line.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the vehicle we drive happens to be clothes. But
Right.
Yeah.
we can drive any vehicle.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
You know, our
Yeah.
perspective stays intact, and that's what
Mhm.
I love.
Yeah,
It's
such a really dope drop though. I mean, just the fact that like we grew up on that
Yeah.
type of stuff too, and then just see the full circle, you guys being able to do this collab with them, I think is
It's
special.
exciting.
Yeah. What do you guys got dropping tomorrow?
It's just our winter last drop of the year. So I guess you can call it holiday, you know,
Nice.
but to us it's just another, you know, our last collection of the year to,
Gotcha.
you know, right before the holiday. We understand that this is a moment where a lot of people want to buy, to gift, and, you know, the fact that people, you know, have us on our wish list and gift list, and we got so many DMs of like, hey, you know, my husband or my son or my girl, whatever it is, are you guys dropping anything for holiday? Because I really want to buy that person something for holiday. That's like
It's huge.
it's just like, wow, like that's a dream, you know.
It's
You
huge.
create something that I remember my wish list when I was a kid, you know.
Mhm.
If I wanted something, you know, that means a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So because it's that moment where you hoping you get everything you ever wanted. So for us to be on people's wish list, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
And for the reasons they want us to, you know,
Yeah.
is that's even bigger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's not about the, you know, the fit and like the it's not about the specifically the design or the status of it. It's just
Yeah.
like it's the connection to it.
Mm-hmm.
Word.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Nice, man. You ready to go to New York?
I'm ready for New York. Gotta get this COVID test tomorrow, and then, you know, when that negative result come back, I'll be ready to hop on a plane.
Nice. Sweet, man. Go see the family.
See the family, do the Hey Arnold shoot.
Nice.
Shooting it with a really good homie, Joe.
Mhm.
He's fire. Excited to see family and friends. Get back, drop that, and kind of take a little, not necessarily a break, but, you know, slow down a little bit
Yeah.
off the gas pedal.
Yeah.
We'll still keep going, keep working for the rest of the year, but the past few weeks been intense just because we're did so much in the past. Like we had in like a 3 to 4 week span, we're dropping like 3 different things.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
production, lookbook, and all that stuff. So, but I mean, we're already working on 2021,
Mhm.
but kind of just go back in, and I think the amazing thing is like we go back into like having conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2020, like we don't. Our mood board is not like this. You know, it obviously it becomes a visual board, but it all comes from conversations.
Yeah.
See, I think when people say mood board, they think visual board, But when I think mood board, like no one on a mood board thinks about feeling, even though it's called a mood board. So it's, that's what I always understood. But with me and him, the mood board is the feeling we carry. So our mood board in essence is our conversation, and that feeling we bring into those conversations. That's the mood that if he's hyped on this or thinking about that, I'm perplexed on this, and that's the mood board. That's how the visuals gets created, which cue the colors, which cue the people who are involved, which cues the area and location.
Yeah.
Like I wish people understood, like when we talk about creativity, design, art, I think it's unorthodox in the way that we approach it because it's not taught in a traditional fashion, but I think it's just natural.
Yeah.
It's how a person finds solutions to obstacles, or I don't want to call them problems because they're not problems, but the human ingenuity,
Yeah.
it's dope.
Yeah, man. How about your health too? Like how you been feeling lately?
I feel great. I am very empathetic and compassionate, so I'm it's hard. I try to balance my own health and being with people being sick.
Yeah.
It's sometimes when I say I'm feeling great, that comes with all the compassion in the world.
Yeah.
Like at times, like I'm having conversations and people not doing so well, not feeling so well, and it's hard to be like, well, shit, I feel like $1 million, but I feel good within, and I feel like that's just being in that vibe and that frequency allows me to be available to feel good physically, mentally, and emotionally. I still have tough days and tough times and tough moments, but I feel good. You've been exercising a little bit.
There we go. How about you?
Trying to eat salads here and there, but at times, there's this fire taco truck across the street from my crib that.
Damn.
I mean, like
I've had that.
Especially if I had a drink or two, I'm just like, fuck it. Let me get this quick taco.
Honestly, those are some best tacos I've had in a while.
They're fire.
What's the taco truck called?
It's called Danny's Tacos. So,
Damn.
Or Danny's Crazy Tacos.
Damn.
Like
if you guys are in LA, check them out because holy crap.
Yeah, they're fire.
They're crazy.
But I think more than anything, for my health, I'm aware.
Nice.
I think, I'm aware when, like, hey, some of the things I got to do better, like eat better, maybe, like, not drink, kind of, like, be more moderate with my alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
I don't really do much outside of that. Sleeping, resting, like, that being important no matter what. Like if I gotta sleep in an extra hour and I'll be late with everything, it's totally worth it.
Honestly, that's big. I feel like, the reason why I asked the question, like, how's your health, is just because you mentioned, like, the COVID test and just, like, health in general has always been important. But I feel like with, this pandemic and all that, it's highlighted it even more. So, like, that was one of the reasons why I asked it. But
taking my vitamins.
Yeah, there we go.
I feel like more than anything, let's, instead of trying to take care of ourselves when we have COVID, let's just prevent it overall.
Exactly.
Like, let's exercise. I tell people all the time, like, that stress and that fear is compromising your immune system.
That's what I was about to say. Do you just believe that it's just those things, or do you believe also too that when you say I feel amazing, and people would be like, oh, you're lying, you feel like shit? It's like, I feel like you're affirming, you're willing yourself into that, which the brain can control the body in this sense.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I think as far as what you're saying, like, having that fear not in you or that anxiety, it helps you better, like that day to day. Not watching the news 24/7
and just being aware, like, I still feel fear, at times.
Yeah.
But I catch myself like, oh, yo, you try, your brain trying to take you on a trip to that rabbit hole of, like, fuck, we're gonna get COVID. And I even started thinking, like 2 days ago. Like, one, I don't want the vaccine, but there's not enough proof and evidence, and I 100% feel that my body is resilient and is God engineered, and like, I don't need any vaccines. But if it becomes mandatory, I also feel like my body and God gonna take care of it.
Yeah,
like I
regardless.
Still feel, let's say like it 10 years from now I grow a tail or some shit, but I still feel like my.
Do you take a flu shot?
No.
No, yeah, I don't take flu shots either.
No.
I think the last time I took any type of vaccine was
They made
when I
me
was a
take
kid.
it. Yeah, they made me
exactly.
take it. When you go in and you do your little, what is it, physical?
Yeah.
They'd be like, you haven't gotten this shot. You haven't got tetanus yet.
If there's people who are down to take the vaccine for COVID, I think they should, And,
tell me how it was.
And people, and there are people who are older who may feel like it would be better for them to take it. Like I know mothers and grandmothers who said they would be, but like we're different, time and era as far as people from our, generation, and I think a lot of us need time, like with me though, I'm for sure like it's not for me. Vaccines or flu shots, that type of stuff, I lay off that stuff, and I'm more coming from like a holistic side, like eating turmeric, or getting ginger in you and drinking water, getting that extra hour of sleep, like you said, because like sleep, I feel like can play a big part to like your health and mental health too. But yeah, bro, that's huge. That's dope.
I feel like I'm not here judging anyone. I'm just like I just hope people respect my decisions just as much as I respect their decisions. If you feel like everybody should have a vaccine, then that's on you. You get your vaccine. I think eventually, because I love to travel, and if they make that mandatory to hop on a plane, I'm gonna just say fuck it. But again, then I just feel like I'll do it.
And your body will have to it's committed to what comes with it.
Yeah, it's like my body is going. If let's just say,
life is a journey, man.
Yeah,
if you lose a leg, do you end life, or do you figure out how to work with it?
Exactly.
What's one of your favorite places you've traveled to?
I always say this, but Mexico City.
Nice.
And we're supposed to go in April for his
my birthday.
Damn.
And COVID stopped that, but I love Mexico City. I think especially because it's just a big city.
Yeah.
And it feels it's a big city, and and it's you're able to do what you do in any other big city for a fraction of the price.
And the food, I imagine.
Food is amazing.
And you're bilingual too, right?
Yeah, and I speak the language, so
there we go.
I love Europe, and I've traveled like Amsterdam, Sweden, Paris, and shit like that. I think all that is beautiful too. I went to Japan, but it's something about, I think after like 2 or 3 days, I'm like, I kind of want to be in a place where I don't have that language barrier.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me being petty,
but
it's just like I remember like traveling Europe and being like, when I got to London, I was so happy. I was like, finally, like I can kind of like communicate better, and especially because I was working when I was traveling.
I just want to express.
Yeah, like especially when you working, and I was on tour, and it was just like, I want people to understand what I'm saying, because like we on a roll over here.
Yeah.
But I love Mexico City. I love Toronto. I love London. London is just a beautiful city. It reminds me a lot of New York. Japan was cool too, but I think between Mexico City and probably London. But even then, if I had the opportunity to go right now, I'll go to Mexico City.
Nice.
Fun.
Yeah, man. Mexico is a vibe.
Yeah.
They got good food. I love it over there. Yeah, bro. Well, you got anything, Weller?
No, I mean, I think I always love having these opportunities for people to get to hear him and just perspective. I don't think it could ever be bottled up into any one sit down or anything like that. I just think that I learn a lot and I grow a lot from my experiences with him. So I think it's good I'm learning to share my gifts, him being a gift to me. So I want to be able to share that with others. And the gift would be them being able to take from his information and inspiration like I do. So, yeah. I mean, if there's anything you want to say that you feel like you've wanted to tell anyone or that you think someone might want to hear or,
I mean, I love to talk. So, I mean, there's so many things we didn't talk about. But I guess the one thing I could share right now is where I'm at in my life and how these things are helping me. And it's just taking time to yourself and making affirmations and talking to yourself, believing in yourself, looking in the mirror and telling yourself how amazing and beautiful and smart and creative and abundant you are. I always say this too, but abundance and prosperity is in your enthusiasm of life. It's not financial, it's not anything to do with money. That's just one form of prosperity showing up, but it's so much more, and when you appreciate the little things, like whether having a bed or having a pillow, having some water, you'll see life start showing up more abundant. So I think my last words is just talk to yourself, take time to yourself. You got to believe in yourself before anybody else believes in you. You gotta know you're great, and maybe you don't know exactly what that means, but just start talking about it with yourself. You're unique, so you're like no one else, and that's your power. I just, everything we need we have within. So let's that's why I just want to encourage people to look within, to spend time to yourself. We're constantly looking for approval from other people, and I get it because I've been there, and sometimes I still go back there. But take time to yourself, confirm it, make confirmations with yourself. And it may sound crazy at first, but just try it, and I feel that I can promise that your life will change and for the better when you start giving yourself more time to spend time with yourself and to learn about yourself, to heal, to find everything so surface level, like really dig into like why you feel that way and why something makes you sad, and I think and I'll finish with this, like think about what you want in life. Like I think so many times what we want is based on what we don't want. So we don't want to fail, we don't want to disappoint, we don't want to we don't want our parents to not we don't want our parents to be disappointed, we don't want to get sick, we don't want to be poor, we don't want to fail. So I think society and life can bring us into thinking that way, but I feel like reprogramming your mind to only try to think of what you want in life, and that takes time, that takes practice, and that's the practice in my life, the affirmations, the meditation. It's like, what do I want in life, and talk about it every day. Like and if I catch myself talking about the shit that I don't want, pull myself out of it and go back into what I do want to happen.
That's dope, man. Yo, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
And even just for sliding through, man, and
of course,
and giving your peace of mind.
This is the first of many.
I'm excited on how this shit come out.
This is the first of many.
I already know.
I really appreciate the experience of just like, I really feel like I'm living in a movie, like I really am like happy that my movie took a turn for what I considered the worst in the moment, because it was all just a part of the plot that God had for me to become great through just getting a little bit better every day.
Yep.
You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I feel like the same for everyone that I've been attached to. It's a blessing being with y'all, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I was in Oakland at one point, just like, I just remember there's so many times where I remember being with him and just life was, I feel like I've lived at least 3 different lives in the last 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, just from whether it's different location, you know, to different job I was working, to car I was driving, to way I was being transported. I didn't drive a car for 10 years before I had seen him, because I was living in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's just like, just want to be super appreciative of these moments with everyone. Like, I'm very blessed.
Yeah, man. I think that's big just to have, you know.
Yeah.
I think we all realize that, you know, and I think and that's what makes me happy is like we all have that understanding, but we also make that action towards that, you know, because it helps everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like every step that Danny takes, it helps the people besides him.
Yeah.
And it's same with DCAM, you know, like DCAM takes a step forward and the whole crew's with him. And whenever someone takes a step forward, if it's a different person, we're right there with them too, you know. So like
Sure.
that's what I'm very grateful for, you know, is having minds and friends just like you guys, and you know, like everybody else around too. You know, so I think, as you know, as DMT or Devin says, is keep pushing, you know. You know, like,
and I feel like I'm excited just for this, because this is like something that Wella has spoke about a lot, and just to come here and be the first person here, but also just seeing the you know, the potential in this, and you know, knowing already like there's so many great people around us that will be part of this. I'm super excited. Like, this is like shit, I want to come back.
Yeah, bro, we'll definitely have you on, bro.
That's what I was trying to say. This is a different show, and the fact that we'll have returning. It'd be almost like
it's,
what do you call when it's like cyclical?
Yeah, bro. It's a blessing to have you come through and do this, and even just having you be the first person to do one of those Instagram videos that we've been working on. That was intentional too, you know, because like you're just inspiring of a person to have, and you're just as much as Wella and me, you know, all live in the crib, and even Brian and Fareed and Devin, but like you're a part of our journey as well, you know.
Absolutely. And likewise.
So, yeah. So
I mean,
yeah, bro. Just really thankful, man.
I am as well.
Appreciate that.
I mean, I would love to just keep it going, and whatever I can help with, and also just like, you know, if there's anybody that I could reach out to for the interview, I'll let it be part of, you know, maybe I'm like, I could be more than just a guest, I mean,
like a panel.
Because like I probably wouldn't be here for every interview, but like imagine like some other people, and we bring them in, and
it'd be like a round table.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
I love it.
Amazing.
That's just fire. This is fire. I mean, and also like I think this just made it official, because you just feel. I felt like I was in a podcast with having this. It was just like,
and you could control how close or far you want it.
Yeah, man.
It's fire.
I mean,
I loved it.
It's some of the essentials. You know, because I want to, if we're going to be doing this, I want to do it right. So, you know, I just wanted to make sure we moved, you know, in the right direction with it. So that's why I, you know, got all this, and here we are, man.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Love it.
Appreciate you, man. I'm going to take a quick photo of you guys real quick.
Okay.
I got to get a photo too, shit. I got disposable. I need to use that disposable. Hold on. Damn, I did this with the rugs behind me the whole time.